Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited for today's episode. Josh and I have officially made our announcement on social media. And if you do not follow us, then you're going to hear about our special announcement right now. We are so excited to share this journey. Sounds very cheesy, but we're just excited to share this part of our lives with people because we just feel like more people need this knowledge and more people just need to know that this happens and this is okay. And there's going to be a lot of ups and downs and emotions, and I don't know, we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out together, and we're going to just be totally open and honest with everybody on the process and enjoy it. Bring it up. It's a conversation with you and you're right next to me. Okay. Microphone is on. We are here because we want to talk, or I don't know, I guess like we're fostering to adopt, like we're announcing it.
Hey, yeah, we're growing our family. We're trying to.
We are. And we haven't really been talking about it, I don't know, publicly, I guess, um, because we don't know everybody out there. And we know that the adoption process is a really tricky um, just area because a lot of people are not for adoption. Um, and we are very aware of that going into it. So I guess we just wanted to kind of talk about, I don't know, kind of like why this has even been a thing we want to do, what we're hoping it looks like, what, like, I don't know, our expectations are. Um,
And just, I don't know, how we've handled prepping for it.
yeah, yeah. So this is definitely like the intro to it because at this point we've done the virtual training online to get certified. We're like officially connected to a social worker. We're like on the path. But we have not met the social worker yet. We're meeting them soon, and we thought like we really wanted to have the first conversation here before we get to that next part because we just feel like it's going to be way more real. And I guess we just kind of wanted to document I don't know, what we feel, our thoughts about the system,
Yeah.
and all positive stuff. I don't know. We're not like,
I mean, it feels very real for me right now
why?
because we're so actively doing so much to get the house ready. It's like my mind is in that gear of like the baby's gonna be here to possibly tomorrow.
Yeah, it's definitely been a weird nesting feeling, but it's like you're nesting for an age we don't know what age we're going to get. So yeah, so I guess we should talk about that because at this point we should just assume that who's ever listening really knows
Nothing.
little about what we are trying to do. And all I wanted to say after that was take over the world from Pink in the Brain.
Yes.
Anywho, okay. So what we want. So I guess I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
because this is basically my show.
Yeah.
You're just here as a guest,
I'm just gonna
as
keep
is my life.
squeaking my squeaky
I
chair.
don't know if the microphone picks that up. I guess we'll see.
It's for me.
So we have two small children. And but I would even say while we were dating, we discussed adoption. Um, we
Well, I mean, yeah. Sorry.
Wow, what a rude guess.
I know.
No, I'm kidding. Go for it.
Trying to make this a permanent segment.
It is going to be a permanent segment.
Um, I think it was one of those things like, okay, we had like the realistic conversation of kids. It's not like we just discussed like the options. Like we were like,
Yeah.
okay, we're looking for something longer term. What are your thoughts on kids? My thoughts on kids. Like that's, I feel like how we got to the adoption concept. It wasn't just like
Yeah.
hey, do you want to adopt? Like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we work
It
towards
was
that.
definitely something that just was on our minds that yeah, I don't know. We just talked about it. And it wasn't even, I wouldn't even say it ever was like if we can't get pregnant, we're gonna adopt. Um, because I think it would have looked different. Like um Like, I don't know, because I hear like these stories of people who like can't get pregnant, so they choose to adopt, and then they might like miraculously get pregnant, and like that relationship between both the kids gets very different, um, because it's like people or like they want so badly to like have their own kids in not parentheses. What are
quote
these?
unquote.
Quotes. Wait, like when you do quotes on things, right? Quotes?
They have their own quote unquote kids.
No, but the own is the quotes.
Their quote unquote own kids.
Um,
I'm exhausted,
yes,
but
we're
we'll get to that.
yes. Okay, so it's just always been a conversation topic. And then I would say at the beginning it was more that we just wanted to adopt. I still don't think it was like so hard on babies. Like I just think we were like we're open to adoption. Like we're open to different ways of like being a family, being like a parental unit with kids. I don't know how to say that.
So,
That felt
well,
weird.
I mean,
But
it got like my perspective on it was okay, we both want bigger families and we
yeah,
both feel like okay, we would like some biological kids. Like we want to try for that. If it works, doesn't.
yeah.
But also we understood like, hey, we don't need to birth that many kids. There's plenty of kids out there who need homes. I mean, you could argue it
You
either
might need to
way.
get closer to the microphone. You seem really far.
Oh, God. Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna re-edit anything, so
And we need like a love seat here instead of just like these two crappy
yeah.
chairs.
I'll sit on your
Um,
lap next time.
no, that's not that type of show. Um, so we both wanted a bigger family, and we both understood like, okay, we want to try for biological kids. You could argue for or against, like, well, if you're gonna adopt, like, why have any? Like, there are arguments either way, but we wanted to try for that. If it worked, it worked. If not, like, we didn't want to have more than two, kind of like, replacement rate, or just, or at least in my head, that's where it was going. Like, but also there,
Replacement rate? What did you just say?
yeah, like, well, like,
Just say it, and
no, okay.
I'll just edit it if it sounds really bad.
Yeah, no, no. It was more like, okay, like there's two of us. It's like, why go beyond like
Oh,
creating more than two
yeah, yeah,
kids?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it just seems like,
Okay, that's not bad. Let's
yeah,
just describe that.
yeah. Okay, so it was just like, okay, creating more than like what you were already like putting into the world. Like, yeah, that was part of.
Is it because you're worried that someone who has like biologically had 10 kids is gonna come and attack you?
I think I could take t 10 kids on. How old are they?
Okay,
Okay.
continue.
So that was like an aspect, but also just like there's so many kids out there who need homes. Like it would
Mhm.
be nice to, okay, like keep growing the family if we decide we want to keep growing the family, which we are now at that stage of like, you know what, we love our kids, we love our family, we want to increase our family. Then this is the next step. Like, okay,
Yes.
now we can help others who are already out there and need it.
Yes. And the more like years that have gone by with us like getting married and having our two kids, um, we learned more about adoption process, like the adoption process. We learned about like how like all the children that were being stolen from like the other countries to be adopted by people in America. And we learned about like kids being taken from homes or not supporting the original family unit and we were like well we weren't for that like we were like well we want to help kids that like or we want to like open our doors to kids that don't have a house like who don't have a family who because like no matter how much we fight to help unify families that there are just going to be situations where, parents don't want the kids, they, whatever the case. Um, and so that was really how we came into or how we have started thinking about it is that like we want to like be a part of their entire family. Like it's not that we're thinking we're going to like foster to adopt children and then just be like, the second adoption papers are signed is like, bye, other family. Like, no, it's like whoever is in their community who loves them, like we are now all together a big unit. Um,
If they're not able to provide the care and support they need to grow, it's like, well, they should still be involved in their life as the child grows, as we help raise the child so they can
yeah,
be part of this. Okay, here's my biological family member that I'm able to connect with and get some aspect of my heritage or culture, like some connection besides just like, no, we're cutting off. Like, no, this is a big part of you and where you came from.
yeah. And that the culture thing, I feel like that's a whole other episode because I feel like we've learned a lot about that in our training that we definitely want to talk about too. But this is going to be an intro episode. We're going to intro episode. I wrote some questions down that you have not seen, that you've not seen yet. Don't look, don't look. Okay. Okay. So when did we consider this? We talked about that. That was answered.
Go.
Ooh, what are annoying things that people say to us? I don't, maybe annoying is not the right way. What are common things that people say to us?
Oh, good for you. I could never do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Which, like, I mean, good for you for knowing what you're able to do or not. Because if you can't support a child
yeah.
that did not, that does not share your DNA, that's important to know.
So like, because that usually also leads into some random statement about something they either heard from someone who fostered or something they read somewhere where it's like, oh, like it's you must have like such a big heart, like I couldn't do that. Yeah, this second cousin's friend of mine said like they fostered once and they go through this like random epic story that you're like, I can't tell if any of it's real. But
Um, oh dang, I had something in
sorry.
that story. I was wondering where it was gonna go. I don't know. I think and I think it's hard because language is just tricky, as I've talked, I don't know, so much about. But when people are like, well, aren't you afraid that like the new kids are gonna hurt your own kids? Which is, I mean, there's so many layers there of like, first, I don't like the like your own kids because all the kids will be our own kids. Like they will all be not our own, like our kids.
Yeah.
Owning feels like a
No,
weird
but
way
I
to
mean
say that.
that is
But
the hard part because like even if we're able to unify the children, like we don't end up being able to adopt them, I would still want to like I see them as like our kids or like this we're in
yeah,
this system together and like okay, this is the best thing that happened for you. Cool, you're able to reunify, but like I want to make their experience, their time with us as positive for their growth as possible. So I don't know. I would still want to consider them family either way.
yeah, agreed. Because what the language that we've been trying to use is like you talk about it's like the bio kids. Um, and like the kids you're adopting, but I mean like that's not what we would be saying, like, oh, here are my kids, blah 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 blah, and then here are our adopted kids, or here are my bio, like you wouldn't specify it like that. But when we do talk about it, like we don't say it like our own kids and then these other kids that live with us, like it's like our bio kids, if for some reason that is like relevant to the story. um
So, sorry, just to clarify, for like we're trying to say, for the sake of this informational segment that we're doing, we would only specify like we're gonna break it. We might break it down like okay, our bio kids, but like we would never refer to them like that in person. So it's like for the
yeah,
sake of certain stories or sake of explaining something, we might say okay, our bio kids versus our foster kids.
yeah.
Okay.
And then just the other part of like, are you worried about kids hurting each other? And as of now, with our two bio kids, I don't know, they hurt each other all the time. We work on consent all the time. We work about what is appropriate touch and appropriate play all the time. And that is something, and we work on boundaries all the time. And those are things that are going to continue to be worked on with any child who comes into our house. If it's a child for a play date or a child that we might be fostering and or adopting. Um, and and again, we've been already going through these trainings that have been like trying to start the conversation with what we do with our kids, which, oh my gosh, that would probably be a really good episode to talk about
Hmm.
how we're talking about this with our kids.
I mean,
So TBD, that'll be another day. Right now, it's like 10 o'clock at night, and we are recording this episode. We've been trying to do this for like a month, and we've just been so busy. So I guess let's talk about why we've been so busy trying to prepare for our home study in a couple. Well, actually, when this goes, our home study will be done. But
fingers crossed.
yeah. So what are we prepping for our home study?
So we are prepping, building a new office slash bathroom in our garage. So we luckily have a weird L-shaped garage, and we're converting it from an L to an I, and that little portion that was the little L lip, capital L, um, we're turning that into an office so that we can free up one of our bedrooms up here, so that way there's another bedroom for kids.
Yes. And the room that we're in right now for people who are watching, this is like, I don't know, I think it's called a great room or something. It's just like a huge room. This room is great. It's kind of my office slash a playroom slash the guest bedroom right now. But it gets really hot. It's and really cold. It's like in the kind of the worst place in the house because it like where it hits. So anybody who lives in this room like it's just not very comfortable. So we would rather have the bedrooms that are on the other side of the house be like where all the kids share rooms and sleep and stuff. And then this will forever be like a big playroom. Like maybe someday there'll be desks and homework or what, I don't know.
Activity
I don't
room.
know why homework was like my go-to playroom activity. Um, but doing all this, we just like changed out our closets. We're moving couches around. We're changing things around because where Josh's office has been, that closet and all this stuff is just filled with crap that we've like never. I think we just kind of put it in there, and the few
Never
years we've been
organized it.
here, we were just like, see you later. And now we have to organize it. But Josh is like single-handedly building a room in our garage, which is
We
just
are building.
I mean, we emotionally are building it together, but I have done very little physical labor for that garage space,
The first time I
other
was
than
bad all day.
organizing your cleaning your tools and stuff.
You organize those, so I can't
Well,
find them.
no, just that time when I got in there and I was like, it's so messy, we got to clean this up.
Yeah.
But that's a me thing. Um, But we're trying to get, I mean, before the home study, we want the office cleared out and the walls painted because it's this really ugly green, um, painted and have it like basically ready. The problem though is that we don't know what beds to get because
I don't know the
we don't
ages.
know the age of the kids. So as of now, our big goal is that like we want to help keep siblings together. Um, and I mean, I guess in like a weirdly perfect world, like two two kids coming in together, siblings who, get to stay together. Or I don't know. I mean, really at this point, if they were like really good friends, like if they lived in a group home together and wanted to like come together, I don't know. I would also accept that. Um, I don't think we're really strict on what we would accept because it's kind of like when you birth a child, you don't get to like choose a lot of the things. So it just feels I was kind of telling Josh or you this today that when like I'm kind of hoping that once we meet the social worker that there's going to be this conversation of like she gets to know us. She knows the kids that like need families or homes, not families. I should have just said homes. Um, and like we'll kind of I don't know. I just kind of feel like it'll fall together. I guess mostly because that's how I just feel like my life is a
I
lot of
mean,
times. But I do feel like they're like I can't imagine like looking at a bunch of pictures and then being like, okay, which one are you thinking? Like that just feels really not like humane. Like I'm just kind of hoping that I mean, I'm assuming because we're doing like a 2 hour interview each. Like they meet us, they talk to our bio kids. Why are you looking at me so confused?
they don't like show us like a booklet of like, hey, you
That's what
picked.
people have said. They like show you all the
This will be a fun
what do
fall.
you call that? Like like a picture and a description,
Oh,
like a
my thought was just like, hey, these kids need a place. They call you.
well that so yes, but what we've been kind of told through random things is that like there are kids right now where they're like they've already lost parental rights.
Yeah.
Like they're well
They've
they're
been in the system for a bit and they're
yeah,
waiting for adoption, if possible.
yes. Um and I mean I guess that's kind of like where we would come in, hopefully. I don't
Hopefully.
know. I always feel kind of weird because I don't want to like hope that a parent like can't get the support to be there for their
Yeah.
child, but I also understand life's crazy, system's crazy.
But which is why at the same time, like we're like for open adoption, we're for keeping family
Yes.
involved. So it's not like,
And we
hey,
prefer it. Like
yeah,
we would love, I mean, I would love
minimize the
for
trauma.
like holidays. I mean, I'm sure there's
There's going to be
many,
trauma no matter
many
what. I just meant it might be a touch
but just
less.
mean like holidays, like I would love for it to be like just a huge get together of like everybody's family or like even not holidays, whatever it is. Like I would love for there to be more people for the child to feel loved by, I
Yeah,
guess is how I
that's a
see
great way to
that.
put it.
Thank you. I'm really smart. Um, okay, so the other question that I'm not quite sure if I should even ask this. Why, so I put, why should more people consider this? Consider like fostering to adopt. Do you have an answer? I don't really have an answer other than like, I just think it's important that we're all there for people in their community, in our community.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Part of me kind of thinks like, okay, if you're someone who hasn't been around kids before, like the trainings for us were like 80%. We're like, okay, we know this stuff. We're like, okay, okay, okay.
Because
The other
we are
20%,
such phenomenal parents.
no, it's more just you have a extensive child welfare background, but and then that
Yeah, I
rubs
guess
off
that's
on me a
true.
little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But a lot of people they don't have that much interaction with children, and maybe they are considering, okay, I want to have children. Like maybe fostering is a way to kind of like you're just like prepping for it. I feel like it would be like a way of seeing all the things that come with children.
And
And then, no, no, no.
I kind of wish that like everyone before they became a parent had to like take this course because
Yeah.
I feel like, well, a lot of the course, because there's just a lot of areas in this course that I just really loved. And I felt like we had really good conversations about it. Um, and I feel like I feel like it would kind of like break down the stigma of like fostering, of like kids in the foster system.
Yeah.
Um, because I feel like when people say like, oh my gosh, I could never do that, like, I don't think they really know what it entails. I mean, which I guess we don't either, really, but
But it's like
um
the stories that like people love to tell. They're like the bad, the sad, the like the off stories
but
rather
even
than
when I hear those,
how much
I oh
how
man.
much is embellished for the story.
No, not I like want to talk to the parents
Oh,
because like so one of our I don't know how, okay, so like we know somebody who knows somebody who's adopted kids, who all of their kids are adopted. Um, and one of them has a lot of behaviors, and he has just had behaviors all of his life that are just, I think, communicating very clearly that the parenting style that they have is just not for this child. And um, and so they don't know what to do, and like, oh gosh, this is hard to be so vague. But
Absolutely.
I asked, well, because I asked a question and I was like, well, it sounds like the parents really run a tight ship. Like it sounds like they're a little too strict. And and they were like, well, they are, but I don't know, if the kid doesn't want to like listen to them, like what else can they really do here? And to me, I was like, well, that feels like a parenting problem. Like he should not be being blamed for like his behavior because the parents are unwilling to rethink their parenting techniques that are obviously not working.
I mean, just taking it back a bit too, making it broader. Just if there was more of a support, more of a system for fostering, for like, if you just take away the foster, just like community support of raising children who need community or I don't know, homes. Um, so I feel like there's like a stigma with fostering almost too. It's like, oh, like there's must be something like once you say you're fostering, I feel like people assume or put a stigma on that child
Yeah.
rather than a bio child. So that's like kind of frustrating in a way. It's like they're already having this negative connotation, and so like if
Yeah.
there was a way to like um, support it more on a broader scale, people would see more of those positive stories and understand like, oh, okay, those few off. It's like the negative
Yeah.
comments. It's like, okay, it's like one per every thousand. It's like, but like one of the in the training that we had to do, there was this one caregiver who was just kind of nonchalantly speaking about their experience and how like they originally wanted to adopt a small child. And you just kind of get a sense of like, oh, okay, like you can't really sense where it's going. And then they just say, oh, now we're like 186 children in. It's like, whoa, like obviously like it's
Yeah.
going well for them. They had biological children.
And they went
Um,
into it like us. Like she had children and she wanted to adopt another
yeah.
and everything was like there. She could and it was about to happen and then she was like, "You know what? That's not what I want to do. I want to be a foster parent." And um yeah, it's a pretty incredible story to like hear. I mean, I have to, okay, so we have it down as like six and under is pretty much like what we're saying right now, plus or minus a couple of years. I would not say we're like super strict on the age. Um, how much we have to have prepared for six and under, like every age you need different things prepared in the house, and I cannot imagine having everything prepared for all ages and then
Yeah.
never knowing. It's like, okay, there's a baby. It's like, oh my gosh, do we have a car seat? Do we have a pack and play? Do we have all these things? And then it's like a 3 year old. It's like, okay, do we have that bigger car seat? Like this, like you have to be like constantly ready at all times. And I know there's a lot of resources out there, but we just, I guess, don't know that much about them yet because we have a bunch of kid stuff. Did I answer the question that I said? Why more people should do this? Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, I think people are so quick to share the negative stories to be like, watch out, this is what can happen. And I feel like the people who have more positive stories, I don't think make it a big deal. I don't think they're like, well, look at this kid who we fostered and now look at their grades. Like, look how good they're doing. Or now look, they're on the swim team and we foster like I don't think like good behavior is going to also come with the language that they're fostered or adopted. But if there's like bad behavior, it's like, well, they were adopted. Like it kind of makes it fall back
Yeah.
onto this. I that really just came to me. That
No,
was
that's
like
great.
not prepared.
Well, it made
But
me,
I really do think that's like a thing. Because like if someone, I don't know, if you're just proud of someone, you're just proud of them. But for some reason, it's like if there's something negative happening, there you have to like blame. Oh, I just did a post about this that I don't like the blame game. I don't like the blame game. We've talked. You know who I
um,
am.
but like another, okay, one final component or on my side of
Oh
it.
God, my back.
Yeah. Um, it was interesting hearing the story that a lot of the people who are abused are more so the protectors. And there's this
You really took a
assumption.
jump there, Josh.
No, but it was okay. So it's kind of like the story, the negative. Sorry, it reminded me of something I wanted to say earlier, and I forgot to like
Okay.
jump in and cut
Okay,
you off
so
because we just
before I am gonna cut you off before you say this because I do want to say something else that we get talked to a lot is about sexual
so
assault. Um, is that people are asking us if we're concerned of children being sexually assaulted. Uh, and the answer is no. But we also just recently heard a good statistic that Josh will now share
it was just
with
that
that beautiful segue. Thank you, professional podcaster Kayla Coburn. Josh, you look so tired. Okay, go.
I feel like there's metal in my fingers.
Okay.
No, just that those that are abused are typically statistically more likely to be the protector within the household rather than another abuser. So it's like thinking like, okay, these kids are coming into your home because they're abused, and then the assumption like, oh, because they're abused, they might abuse other children is actually very false.
Yes. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of trauma that comes with like being sexually assaulted and but I think and they go over this so well, I feel like in the training, which is my last question. What is a favorite thing that you've learned in the training? But I don't have a favorite yet. I want to talk about this though. That the behavior um like I mean I talk oh my gosh. Being a special education teacher, behavior was a huge part of my like college career, my actual career, and then like having kids, seeing it from like a different perspective. And and especially working with the population that I worked with, I did learn a lot about trauma and I learned a lot about like how to like break those cycles with like neural. Did I record this? Oh, thank
Yes,
God. Oh my God. I do that. I do this sometimes when I get like halfway through, I forget.
I
Um,
would just want to sleep.
oh my God. I would have started crying. I don't know. I guess we're not going into this thinking like, hey, we're going to give you such a loving, perfect home. All your behaviors are going to go away. Like that's obviously not how that works. And I think the training did a really good job of like explaining, how people end up in this situation and then like learning from all the different sides. Like we got to watch interviews with kids that were in the foster system, adults that had to put their kids in the foster system, foster parents. Um, that's it, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
There was just so many stories and videos that talked about it and talked about like what made a good placement in a home, what made like better connections and then there were just stories of people who were just, they didn't really know how to accept love and in a more healthier way because that's just like never how they learned. Um, but I think what's also important for us to know is that like there's always this like longing or like relationship that these children will want with like their bio parents that
hmm
like we will never be able to um like our love will be different to them probably.
yeah,
But as much love as we are going to give them, Um, it's interesting. So it's interesting to think, I don't know. And I don't know. I'm rambling now. I'm rambling. I'm just gonna stop it there. Okay, I'm gonna say I'm favorite thing we've learned so far. I have mine.
I'm trying to think of that person's quote.
Okay, you think of the quote, I'm going to say my favorite thing. So, my favorite thing, and I actually tell people this because when I talk to people about us fostering to adopt, the people say things that they want to say, and then they're usually why would you want an open adoption? Because like, aren't those parents not good parents? Like they lost their rights to their kids. Like, why would you want that in that child's life? And they did a really good visual where they had a person and like a picture of an image of a person, and you had to type out all the qualities that make a good parent. So we wrote down like patient and communicative, kind, loving, um, supportive, whatever. And after you do all that, then you click on this column that shows up like on the side, and it's like mental health issues, addiction, generational trauma, like whatever, like losing a job, like it just like puts in all these things that cover up the parent, and it's like the visual is explaining that like there's still a good parent under there. They're just, they have all these barriers that they're trying to fight through. And without the right support, they're not going to be able to, provide what the child needs to be in like a safe home. Um, and I just felt like that was a really good way to describe, like to give a visual for that idea because of how many people have, I mean, how many people have talked bad about these children we haven't even met yet, parents.
Yeah.
Like, like we are, and so oh my gosh, it takes time to like advocate and educate people. And I think always in my life I get, it's like someone asks you a question once and you answer it, and then they ask it again and you answer it. And like after about 4 or 5 times when I get it again, I'm not patient anymore. And I'll just like snap. I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know. Why are you such a dick? Like I can't. And I feel like this is going to be a really great reminder of like we keep educating, we keep telling people like why why this is important, why why these parents who have lost their rights like aren't bad people, and like why behavior isn't doesn't make a kid bad, like it just all these big ideas that I just feel like need to keep being talked about because I don't think they get talked about enough. Okay, that was mine. Josh, what's yours?
I didn't think of mine because I was being a very intent,
Active
active
listener.
listener.
Well, sucks to be
Um,
you. I'm not going to edit this. Everyone's going to have to hear you think.
dun, 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 dun. I think it was just like about your parenting. Like, okay, no matter like how hard it is, you were it essentially like it was much better said than this, but no matter how hard it is, how frustrated you get, all these other things that happen, you're still going to be the best parent at that.
Oh,
Like it was
I
a
do
very
remember
like
that.
cute, clever
Yeah.
way of saying it, but it
Yeah.
was pretty much saying like you are the best for your kids, for these kids
Yeah.
at that moment. So
Yeah. I do remember taking a picture of that. Yeah. Yeah. See, there were so many good lessons in this training. So everyone go get your foster certification. Super easy. And do it when you have two small children at home who require your attention all the time.
or you build by
Yeah,
hand.
we are exhausted. We definitely, I mean, I would say what is the like how Josh is single-handedly doing our his new office in the guest room, or my gosh, in the garage. That's really been like just a huge undertaking. of, I mean, like literally, he's like putting the floor, the framing, the insulation, like it's insane. And today we like put in a closet, organized that, and now this week we're gonna clean out your office upstairs to start making that look more like a bedroom. Um, and my mom's gonna be here. She's gonna help out for a little bit while I go to IKEA and just get as much stuff ready as possible before our home study, which is exciting. So, thank you for listening to us to have this conversation. I mean, we've been talking about I wanted Josh on the podcast like months ago just to talk about raising inclusive kids. And I just like, I don't know, I just got so many connections that like started I don't know how I had so many interviews.
And I wanted to talk about our oldest with the whole, oh, is somebody bringing their kids over?
Oh, well that
But that's another,
we're
yeah,
gonna talk about
yeah.
that. That's gonna be another episode. Um, but back to what I was saying
The other ones are going to be done through this.
was that I mean, I think throughout there will be more
I think so
interviews,
too.
but it's more that I want this to be like an ongoing conversation so people know important things. And I also think we'll be a little bit more candid. Is that the word? Where like on the people who are on coffee, who like, because there's a VIPeeps for people who like subscribe. There's no button. Oh, I see, I see. But for people who like subscribe, get like extra episodes. And so I was thinking that's where we could be like do a little bit more talk about it.
Okay. So you
It'll
can
still
skip
be
to the
private.
T. You could skip to the vent.
What?
I was joking about like, spilling the tea. Like, okay, here's the tea session.
Into
Here's
the
the
tea.
venting session.
Oh, I see. No, it won't be
No,
venting,
I know.
but I want it to be like, oh, gosh, I don't even know. I guess that's something I should probably think about.
I mean, no matter
But I
what, we're
want
not going
it,
to be given any details about
yeah,
any of our children. Um, However, I mean, there's going to be situations that arise that we will want to discuss, the process that we will want to discuss, things that come up that we'll want to discuss. And I don't know, I feel like where we're going at is just we want to make this visible so other people will have an insight into the fostering process to kind of destigmatize it.
yes, exactly. And then if people want to hear us ramble more, then they will go to VIPeeps. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we talk about because this whole episode's going to be up on
Who was
everything.
it? So I don't get to be a part of it.
I
This
know.
is
I
your
don't
special
know. Do
thing.
you want to say goodbye? I don't, I mean, it usually is like inclusion starts with you and I just want to help. Talk to you next week.
I want to do something like with like peeps, little candy peeps, and like give it to like the other
But
guys.
this isn't people here are not on VIPs.
I didn't even know that was the name of.
That's what I just
You
said.
said it. But I thought it was just like a
Oh my
joking, like
gosh, Josh, no, that's what it's called. We could just have a makeout session to end everyone.
perfect. We'll get people going to YouTube.
Um,
We'll
yeah,
figure out for the
to
next
be
podcast.
continued. Stay tuned. It's like weird. Like I don't even like to record myself talking to my phone in front of Josh, so it is kind of weird to like do this episode together. Even though I know you listen to my podcast,
Yeah,
you're not usually with me when I'm talking to my
and it's
computer because
interesting.
I feel like it's so weird
Yeah, but I mean, you've been carrying it out so well,
right
and like,
now.
yeah, and I feel like you keep looking at me. You're so like casual with it. And I'm just like, yeah, me trying to hide my smile.
I know. I was gonna say you're like really awkward, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, well,
I'm just kidding.
it's
No,
extremely awkward.
I've been doing this for over a year now.
You're so good
Here's
at it.
to raising inclusive kids.
Huh?
Thank you, everybody, for being here. And actually, if you have any questions, I
Yeah,
would love to
that'd be
answer
great.
questions. I don't know how to see comments that are on my podcasts all the time, or just like go on social media and message
Mm.
me there. If I respond to you, then that means I got it. I got to figure out how to find comments because I have seen that I now have gotten a comment on an episode and I don't know what episode, I don't know what
Lost in the ether.
platform. Yeah, but I really want to know like
Hopefully it's
what
positive.
is, yeah, I guess, but even if it's negative, it's something we can all learn. Okay,
Take care.
cheers. Thank you again for everybody who has joined us. I cannot believe we are so close to having more kids in our house. It is going to be so great. So the next few weeks are going to be Josh and I, me and Josh, talking about how we have been preparing to have more kids in our home. We're excited that you're here and listening. And if you have any questions, please feel free to find me on Instagram or social media, Inclusion Starts Now, or email me, Kayla@inclusionstartsnow.com. I can see that I get notifications for comments sometimes on podcast episodes, and I do not know how to find them. Maybe I'll figure that out someday, but today is not that day. So if you have a specific question about fostering or adopting or raising inclusive kids, please let me know so I can do something about it. Okay, inclusion starts with you, and I just want to help. I'll see you next week.